Green beans wake in rolling heat. Grass turns warm, aromatic, sweet. First crack pops, the flavor start. Light stays bright with fruity hot. Medium brings caramel glow. Dark gets bold with roasty flow. PASA coffee, sip and see. Roast level shape each coffee seed. From Bur Dubai we show the way. Better coffee starts today.
PASA Coffee Podcast.
Episode 10.
Imagine standing in your kitchen right now. You break the seal on a brand new bag of specialty coffee, pull a little tab open, and just take a deep breath.
Oh yeah, best smell in the world.
Right. You are immediately hit with this wave of rich chocolate, maybe a hint of sweet caramel, bright berries, or, just the comforting scent of warm buttery toast.
It's honestly one of the most universally loved aromas on the planet.
It really is. But if you were to take that exact same coffee bean before it went through the roasting process, when it's just a raw green seed straight from the farm.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you tried to brew it, you would be severely disappointed.
Very disappointed. It wouldn't smell like chocolate at all.
Not even a little. It's essentially a hard, dense, pale green little rock. If you ground it up and poured hot water over it, it would taste like hot water mixed with raw vegetables, dry grass, and just this harsh astringency.
Yeah, because we're incredibly disconnected from the agricultural reality of coffee.
Right.
Because it arrives in our kitchens brown and fragrant, we just forget that it is the seed of a fruit. And in its raw green state, that seed is entirely unpalatable to us.
So all those flavors aren't just sitting there.
No, well, they are there, but all those incredible flavors, the chocolate, the berries, the caramel, they exist in the green bean only as locked chemical precursors. They're literally waiting for a catalyst to activate them.
And that catalyst is fire, heat. Which brings us to our mission for this deep dive today. We are exploring the dance of flames.
The dance of flames, I like that.
Thanks. We are going to figure out the mechanics of exactly how fire transforms that grassy green seed into the aromatic beans we love.
Yeah, looking under the hood of the roasting process.
Exactly. Breaking down light, medium, and dark roasts so you, the listener, can stop guessing and start choosing your coffee with actual intention.
Because moving from, passive consumption to active understanding is the ultimate goal here.
Totally. And to ground this in some practical reality, our approach today is really inspired by the hands-on education style of PASA Coffee over in Bur Dubai.
Yeah, they do great work.
They really do. What stands out about their beginner training is the strict focus on learning the why and the how. They completely cut out the luxury snobbery that sometimes plagues specialty coffee.
That's just so refreshing. It's just about practical understanding.
Exactly. We just want to help you make sense of the chemistry happening in your mug. So to understand the final flavor, we first have to understand what physically happens inside that hot roasting drum.
Right. So picture a commercial coffee roaster. The drum is preheated to a very high temperature, often around 200 degrees Celsius or more.
Okay, that's hot.
Very hot.
Yeah.
And the raw green coffee is dropped in. But the immediate reaction is actually not browning. Biologically and chemically, the first necessary step is the drying phase.
I'm assuming that's because a raw agricultural seed isn't bone dry. It must hold a lot of ambient moisture, right?
Spot on. Green coffee typically contains about 10 to 12% moisture trapped within its cellular structure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And if you apply intense heat too rapidly without driving that water out first, the bean will literally boil from the inside out.
Yikes.
Right, while the outside just scorches. It creates a horribly uneven roast. So in this initial drying phase, the beans absorb the heat from the drum, which is an endothermic reaction.
Okay.
The heat penetrates the dense structure of the seed, and the internal water begins to turn into vapor.
So the bean is basically steaming itself dry.
That's a great way to visualize it, actually. And as the moisture evaporates, the physical appearance of the bean changes. It slowly shifts from green to like a pale straw yellow.
And I imagine the smell changes too.
Drastically.
Huh.
The smell of wet hay fades, and it's replaced by the scent of toasted grain or warm cereal.
Okay, so the water is turning to vapor, the bean is yellow, and it smells like toast. But we still aren't at the chocolate and caramel stage.
Not quite yet.
I know the next step is the browning phase, and I actually have a quick pop quiz I want to throw at you and at the listener too. Let's see who gets this.
All right, hit me.
What is the specific browning reaction between amino acids and sugars during roasting called?
Oh, well, that would be the Maillard reaction.
Yes, the Maillard reaction. I always associate that with like cooking a steak or baking bread, not making coffee.
It's the exact same thing.
Really? Like when you put a piece of pale bread into the toaster and it comes out golden, is the identical mechanism happening inside the coffee roaster?
It is the identical chemical mechanism. Inside the toffee bean, you have amino acids and reducing sugars.
Okay.
As the temperature inside the drum continues to rise, the heat forces these compounds to react with one another. They don't just change color, they break apart and recombine into hundreds of completely new aroma compounds.
Wait, so the heat is literally mutating the basic building blocks of the seed into aroma molecules that didn't exist a few minutes prior?
Yes, that is the absolute magic of the roasting process. It creates these foundational flavor notes of biscuit, toasted nuts, and, early caramel.
But I'm guessing there's a catch.
There is. While this beautiful chemical dance is happening, a massive physical problem is developing inside the bean.
Let me guess. Pressure. I mean, if all that water turned to vapor and the chemical reactions are releasing gases, that stuff has to go somewhere.
Exactly. The internal environment of the bean becomes incredibly volatile. You have trapped steam and you have carbon dioxide gas building up.
And the bean is sealed, right?
Right. The cellular walls act like a sealed pressure cooker. The pressure builds and builds until the cellular walls reach their absolute tensile limit.
Which leads to the most dramatic moment in the roasting process.
Yes. First crack.
The coffee physically breaks open.
Yeah, you can actually hear it happening over the roar of the roasting machine. It sounds like a batch of soft popcorn popping. The structure fractures, releasing the built-up steam and gas.
So if I'm the roaster, the moment I hear that popcorn sound, the green seed has officially transitioned into roasted coffee.
Exactly. And the window right after this, the development phase, is where the roaster goes from being a technician to an artist.
Because they have to decide what to do next?
Right. They have to decide the final identity of the coffee.
So let's break down how that choice translates to the 3 main roast levels we buy. Let's start with light roast.
Okay.
Say our roaster hears that first crack, lets the beans develop for just a very short window, and then cuts the heat. Physically, what do those beans look like?
A light roast will be light brown, kind of like the color of a peanut shell, and the surface of the bean will be completely dry.
No oil on the outside?
No surface oil at all. The heat just hasn't been applied long enough to push the internal oils out.
And flavor-wise, what ends up in our cup if we stop the roast so early?
By stopping the heat shortly after first crack, you are preserving the coffee's original identity. You're tasting the specific farm, the altitude, the processing method.
So it's very origin-focused.
Very. And that's because the naturally occurring organic acids in the bean haven't been destroyed by prolonged heat yet.
I am so glad you brought up the word acid, because I think this is where beginners get incredibly confused.
Oh, absolutely.
When you look at a bag of light roast, the tasting notes almost always praise its acidity. But to most people, acidity sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like, battery acid or bad sourness.
It is arguably the most misunderstood term in coffee. In good coffee, acidity does not mean a defective, harsh sourness.
Right.
Acidity means brightness and liveliness.
Like biting into a crisp green apple or squeezing a fresh lemon over a dish to lift the flavors, that mouth-watering pop.
Yes, exactly. A high-quality light roast is celebrated for that vibrant clarity. It also has a lighter body, meaning the liquid feels more like tea on your tongue.
And I definitely want to debunk a myth here. Because it's light in body, people assume light roast means it's a weak coffee.
Oh, definitely not. It's delicate, but it is not weak.
Let's look at a practical scenario of when someone would actually want this. Imagine a home brewer in Dubai. It is 7:30 a.m.
Okay, early morning.
Yeah, they want something clean and refreshing to wake up. They reach for a light roast Ethiopian coffee, and they brew it on a V60.
Oh, perfect choice.
And they drink it black. The result is this bright, floral, tea-like cup. It is perfectly origin-focused and aromatic.
That is the absolute perfect use case for a light roast. But, light roasts aren't for every situation.
Right, which brings us to what happens if we leave the beans in the drum a little bit longer, bridging the gap between the bean's origin flavor and the roaster's heat flavor.
Which is the medium roast.
So what changes chemically when we push it to medium?
Well, the organic acids, the ones that gave us that bright green apple note, They begin to degrade under the sustained heat, so the acidity softens.
But if we are losing acidity, what are we gaining?
Sweetness
Yeah.
and body. The natural sugars enter a phase of heavy caramelization.
So instead of tasting light floral notes, we get a surge in sweetness.
Exactly. You start getting notes of caramel, chocolate, and toasted nuts. And the actual physical texture of the coffee changes too. The liquid feels rounder, much fuller on your tongue.
That sounds like the absolute sweet spot of balance.
It really is.
Let's place this in another practical UAE scenario. It's 2:00 p.m. You are sitting at your desk in an office in Business Bay, or maybe Deira, Bur Dubai, or JLT.
You've hit that afternoon slump.
Exactly. You need a comforting afternoon cup. You reach for a medium roast, maybe brew it in an AeroPress or French press at your desk, and you get that perfect sweet chocolatey balance.
And that balance is also exactly why medium roast is the undisputed standard for cafe espresso around the world.
Wait, really? Just because of the balance?
Well, it all comes down to milk. If you pull an espresso shot of that bright, floral, light roast Ethiopian coffee and pour steamed milk over it,
The milk just takes over, right?
completely obliterates the coffee's flavor. Milk softens coffee. So to create a balanced latte, the brew needs the structural backbone of a medium roast. It needs that chocolate and caramel body to actually cut through the milk.
That makes perfect sense. The tool has to match the job. Okay, so we've covered light and medium. What happens if our roaster decides to push the coffee even further toward what's called a second crack?
Well, the beans turn dark brown, sometimes almost black, and they're often very shiny or oily.
And what about the flavor?
In a dark roast, the roast character completely takes over the origin character. The acidity is virtually gone. The dominant flavors become smoky, bold, and like a bitter dark chocolate. The body is extremely heavy.
I think we need to tackle some major beginner misconceptions here.
Let's do it.
Because dark roast carries a ton of cultural baggage. First off, a lot of people think dark roast automatically means better, richer coffee.
Yeah, that's simply not true. Sometimes commercial companies roast very dark just to hide the fact that the green beans were low quality.
Right, if you burn the toast, you can't taste the stale bread.
Exactly.
Second myth, people take a sip of a dark, bitter coffee and say, wow, that is a strong cup. But bitter does not mean strong, does it?
Not at all. Strength is about the concentration of coffee to water. You can brew a very strong light roast and a very weak, watery dark roast. Bitterness is just a flavor, not a measure of strength.
And third myth, espresso does not have to be dark roast.
Absolutely not. Espresso is just a brewing method. You can use any roast level you want.
Though, like we said, from milk drinks, you want some of that roast character. Let's go back to our UAE examples.
Okay.
Think of an evening latte drinker. They want a very traditional, bold cafe experience where the heavy roast notes stand up against a lot of milk.
A dark or medium dark roast is completely ideal there. It's bold enough to punch right through the milk.
But, talking about all this theory is honestly useless if you can't taste it.
Oh, 100%.
We have to transition from the roasting drum directly to your kitchen. So I'm challenging you, the listener, to a practical at-home tasting exercise this week.
I love this idea.
And this kind of side-by-side comparison is exactly how they teach beginners at PASA Coffee. Because honestly, tasting builds confidence much faster than just reading the labels on a bag.
It's the only way to really map these concepts to your own palate.
So here's the exercise. Go buy 3 different coffees. Get 1 light roast, 1 medium roast, and 1 dark roast.
Okay.
Now, you are going to brew them exactly the same way. Same dose of coffee, same amount of water, same grind size. Keep the mechanics identical.
Right. The only changing variable should be the roast level itself.
Exactly. And once they are brewed, smell the dry grounds first.
Yes. Notice the differences before you even add water.
Then, and this is crucial, taste them black before you add any milk.
As you taste, ask yourself, which one is the brightest? Which one is the sweetest? Which one has the heaviest body?
You might discover that the dark roast you thought you loved is actually just covering up the fact that you really prefer the sweet balance of a medium roast. You don't know until you isolate the variables.
It's eye-opening. The differences are not subtle at all when they're side by side.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today. Let's do a quick mental flashcard recap for you to take away.
Sounds good.
Light roast equals origin and brightness.
Yep.
Medium roast equals balance and sweetness. And dark roast equals roast character and boldness.
That is the perfect summary. But, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to mull over.
Oh, let's hear it.
Are you trapping yourself in one coffee identity?
What do you mean by an identity?
Well, I meet so many people who proudly say, I only drink dark roast, or I exclusively drink light roast. But your preference doesn't have to be a lifelong commitment.
That's true.
It can change based on the hour of the day, your mood, or your brewing method.
Oh,
The real question is, are you letting a bad cup of bitter coffee from your past prevent you from exploring new flavors today?
that is a phenomenal point. Don't let a bad experience close your mind to what coffee can actually offer.
Exactly. Keep exploring.
So your call to action is simple. Try that tasting exercise this week. And if you want to explore these roast profiles further, buy some specialty beans, or even get some hands-on barista training, you can always visit or message the team at PASA Coffee in Bur Dubai.
They'll definitely sort you out.
For sure. Think back to that hard, grassy green seed we talked about at the beginning. Fire transformed it. Now it is sitting in your mug, waiting for you to understand it.
Such a cool journey.
Keep learning, keep tasting, and make sure to tune in for episode 11, where we are going to dive even deeper into light versus dark roasts for practical at-home brewing. We will see you next time.
Green beans wake in rolling heat. Grass turns warm, aromatic, sweet. First crack pops, the flavor start. Light stays bright with fruity hot. Medium brings caramel glow. Dark gets bold with roasty flow. PASA coffee, sip and see. Roast level shape each coffee seed. From Bur Dubai we show the way. Better coffee starts today.
PASA Coffee Podcast.
Episode 10.